God is love. Let's talk about love. If you go to 1 Corinthians 1, chapter 4. Chapter 4 is going to tell you that God is love. The opposite of fear is love. God is love. In church, we say God is good. In the AA room, we say God is good. Let's look at some characteristics, and I'm just going to run through these briefly, because there is two worlds that between my ears I can operate in. I just have to pick and choose which one am I going to follow day by day. It's going to be it's a lot of opportunities in my life to follow the unreal world of fear or to follow the real world of love. Of love. In the scriptures it says, love is patience. Patience. If I have an opportunity to not worry about finances, then I must practice patience. If I'm trying to do the right thing, my money will come. If I'm living in a real world of love, your finances will come. There's a power that will ensure that you get what you desire. We're going to talk about how to get that desire in another lecture. The next one coming up. But love is God. Love is kindness. We have to learn to be kind. I had to learn to be kind. I used to always walk around in the world of fear. When I started leaving fear, I found out that to be kind gave me a better opportunity to be successful in life. I didn't have to walk around cursing everybody out. I didn't have to be so judgmental. I didn't have to talk negative about everybody. I found out just from being in a loving environment between my own mind, between my own ears, I found out that it's real more peaceful to think of ideals. To think of ideals instead of talking about people. In my world, there's three type of minds. There's three type of mentalities. There's a intellect that I call the upper mind or great minds, and those people are people who talk about ideals. We come up with ideals. Then you have the medium mind people or the average people. They talk about situations. Let me tell you what happened at this football game. Let me tell you about this party. Let me tell you what I saw over here. They speak about situations. Then you have the small-minded people. All they talk about is other people. This person did this. This person did that. Look at that person's shoes. Look at that belt that person's wearing. That person is fat. That person is skinny. That's a small-minded person in my world. So what we create is a loving world that will raise you up to a higher mental state. Love does not envy. It's not jealous. You don't have to be jealous. If you're operating from a world of love, you see your friends or your family get better situations in their life, all you have to do is embrace it and wish them well in what they're doing. Learn to love it for them. It'll come back. Whatever world you live in, what you throw out of you will return back to you. Love does not boast. Not at all. You don't have to walk around being boastful, being proudful. Just show and allow the love of God to flow through you. Love is not proud. This is one I really love. All this is in scriptures. This is a good one. This is my favorite. Love does not dishonor others. If you're operating from the real world of love, you do not have to walk around putting other people down to make yourself feel good. You don't have to do that. It's very, very, very easy to say nice things about people than to say negative things about people. Every time I find myself saying something negative about someone, I could feel it in my chest. And I have to walk away and say, you know what, Robert? That wasn't a good thing to do. So I had to always question it. Whenever I said nice things about people, I never, ever had to question that niceness. I never find myself doing it. Love is not self-seeking. It's not selfish. Love is not easy to anger. This is one that I want to talk about, and I'm going to stop it right here with this one. Love does not keep records of wrongs. That's a biggie. I find myself around a lot of people who keeps a mental record. They keep a mental record of what everybody else has done wrong to them, and they build up resentments. They always walk around, you hear them, well, I did this and I did that. Or this person wronged me, or this person wronged. They keep a mental dialogue going on of accolades of what they have done for people and also what people have not done for them. Now this illusions that I'm talking about, I just want to tell you that fear, and it says it in the AA books, it says it everywhere, fear blocks you from God. It's the opposite of God. Excuse me. And how it does it is, it's kind of like an eclipse. Eclipse. Let's talk about eclipse. An eclipse is when you have something that blocks the view of something else. If you have the sun and you have earth, when the moon passes in front of the sun, it casts a shadow and it blocks the sun. It blocks the sun, and then it moves on and you can still see the sun. That's exactly what happens in our life. In spirituality, in religion, it makes no difference. Fear is an eclipse that blocks you from God. When you're operating in that world of fear, when you're always into worry, when you're operating into anxiety, when you're operating from pain, when you're operating in a world that's full of remorse and judgmental and saying negative things about people, you create that world between your mind, and what it does, it blocks you. It makes a shadow in front of God's love. There's a lot of terminologies in the Bible. They talk about lifting the veil. To me, if you get rid of fear, that tears the veil and allows pure love to shine through you. They talk about living in darkness. Fear is the darkness from the light. At nighttime, I'm downtown right now, midtown Atlanta. And I can honestly tell you, if I was to take right now, go outside at midnight, the only thing, the high-rise buildings that I can see right now in the light, if they turn those lights off and it became night, I wouldn't be able to see them. Only shadows of them. That's what fear does for us in our life. Fear blocks us. It's like an eclipse that comes in front of the power of God, and you operate, I find myself operating from that darkness. Total darkness. I live in that darkness. I operate in that darkness. I'm in that darkness so long that I make that darkness real. You cannot have no successful life. There's nothing successful in a fearful life. Absolutely nothing. The love of God has to shine through. So we have to learn to tear down this fear, to not choose it. The best way to get rid of fear is don't choose fear. Choose the power that we're going to be talking about in the next lecture. The power is yours. You were born with it. You have a birthright to this power. It's not something that you have to learn. Fear was not in the power. Fear is not in God. God is your birthright. You are a child of God. You are a child of God. That's your birthright. You don't have to learn how to love, but you do have to learn how to fear. Fear is not a characteristic that God gave you. That's something that you learned from the separation. I want to thank y'all.